is the Mahawari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Vrajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Bhagavacharya Satarya Satashimad Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Gauda Vaishnavinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki. ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mayapur Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Jamuna Mayi Ki. Ganga Mayi Ki. Tulsi Devi Ki. Bhakta Devi Ki. Shishi Radha Golokananda Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Om Aganda Timuranda Shagananjana Shalakaya Chakra Omlitamnina Tajmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we are reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, and we're just started a new chapter last Saturday. Chapter 23, Life's Ultimate Goal, Love of Godhead. And we're going to read, starting at text 20. Now we're into the Raganuga platform. Lord Chaitanya was teaching, telling Sanatana Goswami about the Vaidhi platform. And so now he's moved on to the Raganuga platform. There's two types of devotional service. This is the extremely rare type of devotional service. It only happens once in 1,000 yuga cycles. That's 0.1%. That's not a lot. So when we read places, they talk about how rare this opportunity is. That's the context. The overwhelming majority of what's taught in the material world is the Vaidhi platform. We have a special invitation. So it's up to us to choose. We just read, 2 weeks ago, that, to be a part of it. And not only be a part, but what part of it do we want to be in? So text 20. If love for Krishna is a seedling state, has fructified in one's heart, one is not agitated by material things. O Brahmins, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul, and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord in my heart. Let the snake bird, or whatever magical thing the Brahmin created, bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 15, spoken by Maharaj Pariksit while he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges, expecting to be bitten by a snake bird summoned by the curse of a Brahmin, boy named Shringi, who was the son of a great sage named Samika. News of the curse was conveyed to the king, who prepared for his imminent death. Many great saintly persons, sages, Brahmins, kings, and demigods came to see him in his last days. Maharaj Pariksit, however, was not at all afraid of being bitten by the snake bird. Indeed, he requested all the great personalities assembled to continue chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu. So Maharaj, you were just talking about being afraid there a couple of classes ago, the big part. And we see that, we have these nice examples here. And of course, Krishna says that he protects what we have, right? Whatever we have, he protects what we have, and he, I'm sorry? And carries what we lack. There you go. And so that assures us that, that's in our state of a practitioner. We're not pure yet, but he's still, as a practitioner, he's going to give us protection to some measure that our hearts are open to receive it. Everything has to be done on our desire. If we want that protection, then he gives us the information. Knowledge comes first. So it comes in that form. And that knowledge causes us to become settled. It causes our faith to grow. That's why it's so important to come in here in Srimad Bhagavatam, to read Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in new people, because it's, you don't want people to come and then leave. You want them to stick around. And the only way people will stick around is based on where their faith is. Get very tender. And so we strengthen our faith through Gyan and the association of devotees. Because in the association of devotees, we get Gyan, we get knowledge. Text 22. Not a moment should be lost. Every moment should be utilized for Krishna or connection or connected with him. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit's expression of anxiety is explained in this verse. He says, let whatever is destined to happen take place. It doesn't matter. Just let me see that not a moment of any of my time is wasted without a relationship with Krishna. One has to tolerate all obstacles on the path of Krishna consciousness. And one has to see that not a moment of his life is wasted outside of Krishna's service. So we have to tolerate, we have to be enthusiastic, and we have to be determined. Right? These are some of the things that Prabhupada tells us. 23. With their words, they offered prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remembered the Lord. With their bodies, they offered obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicated their whole lives to the Lord's service. Purport. This is a verse from the Hari Bhakta Suhodhya. It's found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first wave, chapter 3, text 29, 24. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power, and sense gratification. But these things do not appeal to the devotee at all. King Bharat was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is called Uttama Sloka, because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharat gave up his attractive wife and children, as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. Purport. No attachment. These are the signs of virakti, detachment, found in a person who has developed bhava, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, text 43. Right? So we see that Bharat attained the stage of bhava, but even on that stage, there's still a slight little chance we found in his story where he had fell victim, there's a little bit of compassion, even though he was greatly detached. this material compassion that he had, that he felt on a deer that was struggling. The mother gave birth to a deer. The mother took off. I think a roar of a lion or tiger or something scared it. And so then he took compassion on that. And then that small thing, it's amazing how somebody that accomplished so much, but he was given mercy, like we was talking about fear. Krishna still gave him mercy that he could remember his past life. And as soon as he realized his mistake, that uh-oh moment when he died and thinking about that deer, and then he had to take birth of another deer. So this is what we can get to. We can work on our sadhana with the help of each other. We can't do it without each other. It's impossible. It's so practically impossible to get to the stage of bhava without help. Because in this context, we're talking about the Raganuga platform. We're not talking about Vaidhi. We've already gone beyond that. Of course, Vaidhi is liberation, and liberation comes with just chanting Namabhas. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita here in the very beginning, in chapter 3, when Advaitacharya is calling for Lord Chaitanya to descend, right? He offers some water with a tulsi leaf in it. And it describes, if we just do that little act, that little small act, we just offer Krishna some water with a tulsi leaf, that's guaranteed liberation. So we see that by reading this philosophy, reading this story, that we should not have fear of death when it comes. Bhaktisiddhanta is super heavy. He said that if at the time of death we're still afraid, we've simply wasted our time. That's pretty heavy, because death is pretty scary. It's not, of course I'm not that welcoming of it. I'm not going to just, like Bhishma, just, he was like, Krishna was coming at him. He was like, okay, let it happen. I'm not, I'm on that. I've got a lot to work on. But that also helps us in our sadhana, understanding those things. Okay, 26. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lowest stages of life. King Bhargava always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bhagarath Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering respects to chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. Purport, this is a quotation from the Padma Purana. 28. A fully surrendered devotee always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities, nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestowed your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope has always given me pain. This verse by Sanatana Goswami is quoted in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first wave, chapter 3, text 35. Text 30. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. Let's go, ardent desire. Okay. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wandering within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place. But how can this be accomplished? This is a verse from the Krishna Karnamrita, text 32. Guys, just kind of reminded me that we were reading that Lokanath Das' appearance day was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he wrote a book about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And in that, one of the verses, this book's available. Lord Chaitanya's little short pastime about Radha and Krishna. And so Krishna's telling Radharani that, I'm Lord Ram. Telling Radharani. So Radharani's like, she's laughing, looking at Krishna, says, there's no way you're Lord Ram. So Lord Ram can control himself. Says, you can't control yourself, So, so she says, there's no way you could be Lord Ramachandra. Text 32. Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra constantly. O Govinda, this youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy names in a sweet voice. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first wave, chapter 3, text 38. At this stage of bhava, a devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. So text Srimad Bhagavatam 33, 10th canto 33, 39, it says that one who faithfully hears and describes the playful affairs of the gopis will attain pure devotional service. They will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. So we have a description here of a tendency to chant, describe these qualities, has awakened on the stage of bhava. So those things will immediately cleanse whatever, almost every little tendency we have. Then it's just waiting for Krishna to bestow his mercy. Get that, his love of a particular rasa. When Krishna bestows that mercy, it's in a particular rasa. It's his love. Krishna Bhava, Madhurya Ras, Vatsalya, Sakya. This is the goal for most sadhakas in the Hare Krishna movement. Descending from Lord Chaitanya. Okay. 35. O my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body. But his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is sweeter still. Purport. This is a verse quoted by Bilamangala Thakur, Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. That book is available, but here's another one of those books. This is one book that Lord Chaitanya read. Gita Govinda, Krishna Karnamrita. There's 3 primary books. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam. But these books he discussed in the association of a few people. Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, Sikhi Mahidi, and Sikhi Mahidi's sister, which is really, really important. Of course, she was considered a half, but that was only because there was no really intimate relationship between her and Lord Chaitanya. There was distance because of the ashram. But that was so important because then she could repeat everything that she was given that ability, because then she can then in return discuss it amongst her friends, other women, and then therefore it could be shared to a broader group of people, those who are qualified. So, but Prabhupada said, obviously, this is we can, just some of the verses we're getting here, we can talk about how some of the intimate things that are being discussed by his mood of bhava. He had attained the stage of bhava to the point Krishna bestowed his mercy, and then Krishna actually appeared before him. The amazing thing is, Bilamanga Thakur was blind, but he discusses how he saw Krishna, Spruti. I guess I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. Spurti. So Krishna appeared before him. He talks about that in the Krishna Karnamrita. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita that describes this Spurti. Sanatana Goswami describes it. It's not, and we see that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this happens. Dhruva Maharaj, through meditation, they finally see Vishnu or some form of the Lord. And basically what they're seeing is what's finally in their heart. Their heart has become clean. And the dust, is completely removed. All contamination is gone at that point. And even though externally they're seeing the form of the Lord, that form has come. And anybody else standing around is not going to see that form of the Lord. Only they're going to see that Lord. So Sanatana Goswami goes in a little bit detail in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita about this, how this happens, and generally to the devotee. Okay, 37. O Lord, Pundariksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Yamuna? This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, First Wave, Chapter 2, Text 156. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, bhava, for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. O Sanatan, please hear this from me. Even the most learned man cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Even a most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality whose heart love of Godhead has awakened. We can see some examples in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and these different devotees. Gadadhar didn't see it, and Pundarik Vijayanidhi initially. They couldn't see it in Haridas Thakur. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 40. Love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, attachment, subattachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. These are what's called the continuing stages of ecstatic love. So after one attains prema, given by Krishna of a particular rasa, love doesn't stop. It continually changes. It develops. It's like a roller coaster. The emotions, attachment with Krishna, and then separation from Krishna. You're with them, the gopis or the cowherd boys. When they're with them, there's one type of ecstasy. And when he's not around, there's another type of ecstasy. So it continues. The gopis in Vrindavan have one type. The queens have another type. The same stages: prema, krama, bhakti, haya, sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhava, mahabhava, and haya. Now, this mahabhava is only experienced by Radharani and her 8 principal gopis. But these other stages are experienced by Nitya siddhas or sadhaka siddhas, those who have perfected their lives. So these continuing stages of ecstasy that Lord Chaitanya is here is gopis is like honey. And then described that the queens is like ghee. It's the same but different. Theirs is much more sweeter, and Radharani's is the most sweet. Okay, 43. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. So you can see how these things change from a sugarcane plant, and it's all develops from refined. One should understand that just a taste of sugar, one should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases, as it is gradually purified, so when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is a compound of the beginning seed, its taste increases. According to the candidate, possessing the transcendental qualities, sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental metals: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first wave, chapter 3, text 41, 44, rati, attraction, is thus described. The real symptoms of the fructification of the seed of love, rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. When such symptoms are found among speculators and fruitive workers, they cannot be accepted as real symptoms of attachment. Foolish people, without knowledge of devotional service, praise such symptoms of attachment, even when they are based on something other than a desire to serve Krishna. However, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms ratyabhasha, a mere glimpse of attachment. And we have this, even in the material world, they have this saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So you see that there's a big attachment, mostly in relationships, and married relationships is different, and maybe family relationships at one level, parental relationships, and marital relationships. Even when there's some separation, there's, due to attachment, there's some emotions, some feelings, but these are material. So the point is, these aren't the same as this type of emotions in a relationship of detachment and attachment and separation that these gopis and cowherd boys and parentals are experiencing. 46. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. The devotee may be attracted to one of these mellows, and thus he becomes happy. Krishna also becomes inclined towards such a devotee and comes under his control. So here another instance where Lord Chaitanya says that we choose one of these. Here we become attracted to one of these mellows. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 5, text 1, Staya Bhava, permanent ecstasy, is thus described. These moods, bhavas, bring under control the favorable ecstasies, such as laughing, and unfavorable ecstasies, such as anger. When these moods continue to remain as kings, they are called Staya Bhava, or permanent ecstasies. Continuous ecstatic love for Krishna is called permanent ecstasy. When permanent ecstasies, neutrality or servitorship, and so on, are mixed with other ingredients, devotional services of love of God is transformed and becomes composed of transcendental mellows. It's not stagnant. It's just so many things that trigger different aspects of one's devotional aspect or life. We just mentioned those different ratis, that Lord Chaitanya just mentioned them. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 1, text 4 and 5, the following definition is given. This is the purport. Love for Krishna, Keshava, is previously described, reaches the supreme state of being composed of mellows when its ingredients are fulfilled. By means of Vaibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika, and Vibhacharya, hearing and chanting are activated, and the devotee is able to taste love for Krishna, then attachment for Krishna, or permanent ecstasy, Sthaya Bhava, becomes the mellow of devotional service, Bhakti Ras. I mean, you've given so many classes in Maharaj, and you've broken these things down, very nice classes you've given. And Irma, too, has done some of this. This is these advanced feelings and emotions and how they intertwine between each other. It's a little bit beyond me, But I very much appreciate when I hear devotees like you talk about them and give details, explanations. Okay, text 48. Permanent ecstasy becomes a more and more restful, transcendental mellow through the mixture of special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, natural ecstasy, and transitory ecstasy. It's okay. This is it's complicated, but not complicated. It's just emotions and feelings and relationships with Krishna. This is to kind of explain how deep the love that individuals have for Krishna. Text 49. Yogurt mixed with sugar candy, black pepper, and champer is very palatable and tasty. Similarly, when permanent ecstasy mixes with other ecstatic symptoms, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. There are two kinds of particular ecstasies via bhava. One is called the support, and the other is called the awakening. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening of Lord Krishna himself, is an example of the support. So when the gopis hear that sound every time, especially that first time, when those sadhakas have taken that birth into that universe where Krishna's pastimes are currently happening, and they hear that Krishna's flute, the Acharyas talk about it's like birds create nests in their ears, and they hear nothing else but that sound. And they're out the door. And whether it's their brothers yelling at them, or their fathers yelling at them, or their husbands yelling at them, they don't hear anything. They're just immediately attracted to Krishna. Of course, there's some examples of very few that might not make it out that first time, and because they still have a little hint. It's like Judd Bharat had just a little bit something, material contamination, slight as it might have been, that held them back, that little bit. But because of their separation and because they didn't make it, it burned up that body, that material, that last bit of that material body. And then when Krishna, in the future, played his flute again, it was every night at that point, until he went to Mathura, which is where we're at now in Srimad Bhagavatam. But he comes back, after their intense separation. He comes back, and they reunite permanently in the spiritual world. Okay, text 51. The subordinate ecstasies are smiling, dancing, and singing, as well as different manifestations of the body. The natural ecstasies, such as being stunned, are considered among the subordinate ecstasies, anubhava. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 1, text 14, Vaibhava is described as follows. The cause bringing about the tasting of love of Krishna is called Vaibhava. Vaibhava is divided into two categories: alamba, support; udipana, awakening. In the Agnya Purana, it is stated that that which causes love for Krishna to appear is called Vaibhava. That has two divisions: alamba, in which the love appears, and udipana, by which love appears. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 1, text 16, the following is stated about alambana. The object of love is Krishna, and the container of that love is the devotee of Krishna. Learned scholars call them alambana, the foundations. Similarly, udipana is described as follows: those things which awaken ecstatic love is called udipan. Mainly, this awakening is made possible by the qualities and activities of Krishna, as well as his mode of decoration and the way his hair is arranged. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 1, text 301. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 1, text 302, also gives the following further examples of udipan. Krishna's smile, the fragrance of his transcendental body, his flute, bugle, ankle bells, and conch shell, the marks on his feet, the place of his residence, his favorite plant, tulsi, his devotees, and the observance of fast and vows connected to his devotion all awaken the symptoms of ecstatic love. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 2, text 1, describes Anubhava as follows: the many external ecstatic symptoms or other bodily transformations which indicate ecstatic symptom emotions in the mind, and which are also called Bhutavsvara, are the anubhavas or subordinate ecstatic expression of love. Some of these symptoms are dancing, falling down, rolling on the ground, singing and crying very loudly, bodily contortions, loud vibrations, yawning, deep breathing, disregard for others, the frothing of saliva, mad laughter, spitting, hiccups, and other similar symptoms. All these symptoms are divided into two divisions, Sita and Shepana. Krishna, yawning, and so on are called Sita. Dancing and bodily contortions are called Sepana. This is Prabhupada's purport here. Now, Maharaj Prataparuja, we talk about frothing and saliva and these different symptoms. Uh-oh. When he first heard about Lord Chaitanya, this is in Chaitanya Bhagavat, so he secretly went and saw a program, a kirtan program. But when he saw Lord Chaitanya and these symptoms, some doubts in his mind grew. How can something, how can somebody, you see somebody acting like this, it's, you have either material vision of it or spiritual. Yeah, saliva, yeah. He was, saliva was coming out here like talking about frothing of saliva. So he went back that night and he took rest, and then Lord Jagannath came to him in a dream. And so when he saw Lord Jagannath, he wanted to go and embrace him. But Jagannath said, no. You saw me today and you rejected me. I am no different than Lord Chaitanya. Okay, all right. So all glories to Sri Guru. Then, of course, he woke up and realized, yeah. Okay. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Yeah. I guess this is where you get that. You break it down when you give a class. This comes from here, I guess.
What's that?
When you give class about the anubhavas and stuff, this is where.
The same thing about the 5 different types of bhava.
Yeah. Oh, nectar of ocean. Yeah. Okay. All glories to Sri Guru and Guru.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataksam Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asta Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Udila Karuna Purapapage Dwijamane Gora Hamadi Jage Dila Haruna Lavage Dwijamane Gora Hamadi Jage Bakata Samuha Loyla Sate Gela Nagara Praje Bakata Samuha Loyla Sate Gela Nagara Praje Tatai Tatai Majala Kol Gana Gana Tage Janero Ro Preme Dala Dala Salara Hanga Charane Nupura Paje Preme Dala Dala Salara Hanga Charane Nupura Paje Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Mulena Bolore Vajana Bore Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Mulena Bolore Michenida Vashe Gelorati Divasha Sharira Shaje Hey Mona Tulava Manavateho Payaki Koro Wabana Keho Bina Wajale Yashoda Sutta Charame Poreve Laje Uti Tapana Oela Yasta Dina Golo Ole Hoi Virasta Tabekeno Ebe Alatsa Hoi Bajaridoya Rajay Namajaredoya Jivana Necha Jana Hasar Tahena Navida Vipada Bar Namashraya Kori Yatana to me Takahapana Kashe Jivera Kalyana Sanana Kam Jagateya Se Maturanam Avidyati Mira Tapan Rupe Taek Ritagane Virashe Ritagane Virashe Krishna Namachura Koreapan Jurayo Makate Vinod Brown Nama Pina Kichu Nahi Gowara Jioda Bovana Maje Ulila Haruna Purabapake Tui Jamane Gara Hamani Jage Tui Jamane Gara Hamani Wakatsu Samoha Royal Sate Gela Nagara Raje Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Jaya Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokananda. Jaya Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokanana, Radha Golokanana. Jaya Radha, hey, Radha, Radha, Jaya Radha. Radhe, 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 Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Paravitakacharya. His divine grace. Abhaya Shananaha
When the rising sun appeared in the east, the jewel of the twice-born, Lord Gauranga, awakened. Gathering his devotees around him, he set out to preach in the countryside towns and villages. Tatai, tatai, sounded the Mridanga drums, and the cymbals chimed in time. Lord Gaurasundara's shimmering golden features danced, and his ankle bells jingled. Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, Hari, chanted the devotees, their mouths filled with the vibrations. Calling out, they preached to those still sleeping. You spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your bodies. Although you have achieved a rare human birth, you do not care for this precious gift. Instead, you refrain from serving the darling of Yashoda and slowly fall through your last moments to death. With every rising and setting of the sun, a day passes and is lost. Why, then, do you remain idle and not serve the Lord of the heart? This life is temporary and full of various miseries. Take shelter of the holy name as your only business, to penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart. The sweet holy name has arisen like the rising sun. Drink deeply the pure nectar of Krishna's holy name, which is the life and soul of Bhakti Vinod. The holy names aside, there is nothing to be had in all the 14 worlds. Chaitodarpanam marjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika